And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this Tuesday. I was almost going to say Monday because I had yesterday off playing hooky. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Oh, out on the golf course is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
So you took the day off. I see you did a little shopping. Were you shopping with somebody who is sight impaired, Dean? Because for those on the live stream who can see your outfit.
This is a beautiful.
Wow.
This is a beautiful shirt. You can't see the shorts underneath.
That's okay.
Jacob,
stay behind the desk.
Jacob, did we get a shot of that? Did we get? Here, hold on. All right, let's
because here at Weather and Ag
we'll
in
go in front of the
Focus,
camera here.
we're fashion forward. So here's Dean in doing his best Vanna White. This is probably one of the loudest outfits you could possibly imagine. The guys in the control room have decided they're going to wait for NASA to release photos to the public because this can be seen from space. It's pretty amazing. So please pick up our live stream today.
Those are loud golf shorts is what they're called. And you might as well mix it in with a Hawaiian shirt that does not even match. So...
yeah. Those are golf shorts. There we go. Now my microphone's working. I was wondering where
those
it
are golf
was
shorts.
this whole time. Over here talking on the wrong channel.
Yeah, the boss told me, he pulled me aside. He's like, you should be arrested for even wearing those shorts.
Should be arrested. Oh, man. What did I miss? I've been gone for 1 minute. And the show is do I have someone falling downstairs sound effect?
I'm surprised you don't. You got everything else loaded up in there.
I was going to load in a Vikings horn on here today, but I didn't have time.
Oh, you should have. There you go.
That would have been a fun one.
Well, it's a nice day. If you like the hot and humid weather, although today's not that humid. Temperatures right around 90 degrees, but the dew points are in the 50s. That means a quieter kind of not as humid of a day, but we do have a cold front that's approaching, and if you have evening plans, a pretty good shot for some scattered showers and storms as we head into the evening, anytime after about 5 o'clock.
Are we going to need our Thunder Buddies?
You might need your Thunder Buddies. You know what today is?
Uh-oh.
Today's Tuesday. Mm-hmm. What's Tuesday?
Tuesday is May 23rd.
No, Tuesday is Chemtrail Spray Day.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, it's hard to see if we're being sprayed today or not, because it's pretty, cloudy and hazy, so I can't tell.
Actually, did you know that this is the day on Tuesday, because you guys go off the rails on Chemtrail Tuesday. It's the day I practically get an eye strain from rolling my eyes. People can audibly hear me over the airwaves thinking they're out of their minds.
We try.
But are we?
I got another one for that.
Yes.
Always yelling. Who said that? I am not insane. Stop it. Stop talking in me.
Voices bothering you, man? You need one of these.
Oh, goodness.
A foil hat?
Yeah, we need foil hats over here. We try and put it under lock and key most times.
Except Tuesdays. You can't.
Tuesdays, you
can't.
Hard.
It's hard to deny it. Although I don't, can't see.
It's just another heavy spray day. It's just really cloudy out there.
But we do have rain in the forecast. And Bridgette,
people,
we could pick up another. Some areas could pick up another half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch with thunderstorms tonight. How is that going to affect
not good for
our
us?
Farm?
We're not in the ground.
Well, first things first, I got to step outside and finish planting the garden before it rains. You guys are on your own for the next little while. But in actuality, if we get rain, there's nothing that we can do.
Right.
All right. We're probably at the point where we've dried out. We're very close to getting to the farm and get into the field and planting. Jim's going to keep us apprised of how much rainfall we get out there and what may happen this week. But fingers crossed, we'll get it in. We still have time. We're not behind the 8 ball yet for planting our soybeans.
Mm-hmm. And
we'll be okay.
The pattern that's setting up over the next week to 10 days, areas, and this is great news for our friends down in the Southern Plains, Western Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle, those areas that have been hit the hardest by the drought really look to be in kind of a wet pattern here over the next week to 10 days. So that's absolutely fantastic news for them. Outside of this
rainfall, they've got crop in the ground that's waiting for rain for it to either mature or to even germinate in some cases. So I'm on their side right now. Meanwhile, we are actually seeing a little more rainfall for some of our friends down in Kansas and so forth, where they have been kind of missing out for quite some time. And I sent Justin a story. This came out of Successful Farming, where drought-stricken Kansas, there's a farmer who's watching his reptiles to see if there's going to be a rain forecast. Did you guys get a chance to read through this, or shall I recap it?
No.
We'll have to recap it. I was meaning to, but I spent most of the day
Okay.
training in our new intern here, so.
Sweet. We got an intern. Okay. So as we look at what's going on here, this is the rainfall theory. The theory is a lot like how cattle might get restless before a major thunderstorm. Well, this particular farmer notes that he's seen the movement of turtles and snakes increasing. He's not sure if it makes a difference if they move uphill or downhill, but it seems like whenever they are moving to higher ground, there's a higher chance of rain, whereas they move downhill towards the water means forecasted rains probably won't occur.
It makes sense.
Is that more accurate than the LRC, gentlemen? Where do we want to weigh in on that?
I agree with it, 100%.
I agree. It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's
There is
more
a
accurate,
Facebook group.
but-
Well, there's a Facebook group for those of you who can stand to look at it called Snakes on the Road. Personally, you said snake, I got to leave. And people are reporting snake and turtle sightings, and they have seen spikes in sightings resulting in more severe and larger storm systems. So there's one thing
Very
that people
interesting.
are using to think about their weather situation.
And this is down in western Kansas, you said?
Kansas.
Okay.
Yes, this is a farmer in western Kansas
Yeah,
where if you look at their drought monitor as of May 9th, although I know it's been updated, they still have large chunks of western Kansas and even southeast and D4 and D3 droughts.
But it is shrinking.
Pretty wild.
It is starting to shrink.
It has been.
That is great news. And again, this is the pattern that, will be with them for most of the summer. Now, does that mean they're going to break the drought? Absolutely not. But it will start to shrink, which is really good news.
Yeah, once you are in a drought situation like that, you don't get that moisture back overnight. We were extremely dry in the summer of 21. Even for the most part in 22, we didn't have a huge amount of moisture, especially through harvest. So we're still seeing a lot of our subsoil taking in good moisture. It's been working pretty well for us, I think, to try to recharge that soil. I know my garden is only a minor comparison to what farmers really do, but as I've been digging down in my subsoil, I'll take more moisture. That's not a problem right now.
Absolutely.
I don't
Absolutely.
even have mine in the ground yet. I haven't even dug it.
You got to get the tiller out there, don't you?
I do.
I am
I'm just
tilled
a couple
and
weeks behind.
I have bought my plants, and I am willing to reveal my sweet spot of a greenhouse for those of you who are willing to travel to western Cass County to Pedal Pushers in Emden. They have all the things you might be looking for. They have celery plants. That's not a common item to find. About 5 different
Celery
flavors
plants?
of mint. Yeah, I get not the cash ones. Sorry.
Dang. Need one of those.
I am, however, on the hunt for sweet potatoes because she did not have sweet potatoes when I got there. So feel free to send me messages. Where am I going to find my sweet potato plants, folks?
I didn't do any
Thanks.
sweet potatoes. I got 4 different kinds of peppers, 4 different kinds of tomatoes, cucumbers, and squash, corn, beans, and peas.
There's plenty of things to be considering.
Speaking of sweet, you said sweet potatoes you're
sweet
looking for, right?
potato.
I had
Yam.
Yes.
I had a chili pepper sweet potato dish. There were sweet potatoes with chili pepper like mixed. Oh, it was so good. It had a little bit of kick and the sweetness to it.
That's the kind of thing you want to hear. Nice.
So we'll get you some sweet potatoes if you're having trouble.
She wants to plant the
All
sweet
right.
potatoes.
No, yeah, we can.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll find them.
Yeah.
Dean knows
Okay.
a guy. He knows
I
a
know a
guy
guy.
for just about everything.
That's the
believe
same
it or
guy I
not.
got the horse and the cow from. He also has some sweet potato plants. So
He's really sketchy, but
That's
believe it
true.
or not, he's a really nice guy.
We say that about Dean, though.
I mean, this is also true.
Now, little update. Senator Hoeven had a Farm Bill roundtable today with Red River Valley producers and agribusinessmen. Some of the things that they talked about really coincide with our discussions with the Farm Bill as of late. They've been talking about maintaining crop insurance. Also talking about the ARC, which is Ag Risk Management or Agricultural Risk Coverage. They want to ensure support for the U.S. sugar policy, more transparency and competition in the cattle markets, and strengthen the livestock disaster programs like the LIP program, Livestock Indemnity Program. So those are just a few of the things that Hovind was talking about earlier today with some folks right here in the Red River Valley as we prepare, once again, more discussions on the Farm Bill.
The Farm Bill is such an interesting topic.
Well, and
all the time.
It's huge.
Hopefully they can all get together and get that passed. That's up in October, is it not, Bridgette?
October 1, and with any luck, it won't be very long after October 1 we'll make that deadline come to fruition, because the problem is we know we're not going to get it done prior to the September 30th deadline. A lot of farm groups have already said that.
That's just how government works. They set a date and then they work past it.
It's kind of do. Yep.
Right up until that literally like last couple seconds.
Well, we're going to keep trying. How's that sound? So,
I like it.
All right.
Well, if anyone wants to join in on the conversation, we got a few more topics we're going to come back to, but 701.
Can they call in and talk about chemtrail?
They can
spraying?
talk. They can talk about anything that they would like to talk about today.
We'll let Bridgette handle those questions.
And I
if we get any
actually
callers.
I actually do got a question for them, and this is going to be off topic, and it kind of coincides with your chemtrails, but I'm looking for something new, or at least something relatively soon new to start watching. I've been kind of starting to dive into a little of those some of the conspiracy things, and there's a lot of them that are bogus, and it's just like I don't even want to waste my time watching this, but there's a couple that are pretty interesting. And I watched that Bob Lazar one. That one was fun. I just started watching the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if you've heard of that ranch before, Bridgette. I'm sure you have. I'm sure a lot of people probably have heard of Skinwalker Ranch.
What's it about?
Well, it's a 512-acre property out in northeastern Utah, and there's a lot of unexplained phenomena that happens there. And this team, a guy bought this ranch from people that were driven off of it from the phenomenon that would happen on it. Dude bought it, set up a research team. They did it for about 15, 20 years, did research. All that information, lock and key, never came out, got classified, sold the property. New guy bought it. Now he has a team, and they're doing a documentary on all the stuff that they're finding, and it's pretty interesting and low-key kind of believable with some of the experiments that they're doing. So it's really interesting. But I'm wondering if you got an idea for something for me to take a look at, a good conspiracy
Well, what's the phenomena that was taken on at the ranch? What kind of
there's been like UFO sightings, cattle mutilations, weird
crop circles?
No crop circles.
Okay.
Very weird high radiation levels that are intermediate, different electromagnetic fields that are being generated and moving across the property, and extreme temperature drops, like 20-degree temperature drops instantaneously around some of the houses in there. But it's pretty interesting. I'd recommend you go give it a look. But here I am 3 minutes past our break talking about this. But if you got a good conspiracy video for someone to check out, 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. We'll come back to your phone calls, and we got some other ag topics that we'll get to, as well as the forecast coming up here in just a moment.
The staff at Central Cass High School take this time to say congratulations to the graduating class of 2023. They are very proud of all of you and all of your accomplishments this year in school and on the court or on the field. What a great year to remember. The journey of life brings both challenges and chances. You have what it takes to succeed. Wishing you all the best are everyone at Central Cass High School in Castleton. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2023. Your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. Cass County Mutual Insurance is proud of your accomplishments and is eager to see you succeed in the years to come. Wherever you go, go with all of your heart. Wishing you the best of luck in future endeavors are your friends at Cass County Mutual Insurance in Castleton.
Steve and Craig at Steve's Heating and AC in Castleton would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the 2023 graduation class. You are moving on to a new and exciting chapter in your life. They wish you all the best for the future that lies ahead. One journey has ended and a much better adventure is just beginning. Steve's Heating and AC in Castleton is proud of you and looks forward to seeing you succeed in your future. Congratulations again to all grads.
Hey, Ronnie, grilling season finally here this weekend. I'm going to sit on my deck with a cold beer and watch Alex grill some meat.
Speaking of meat, Jay, our great friends from Meats by John and Wayne will be giving away a meat bundle this Thursday on your show. All you have to do is listen for the call-in song and be the 9th caller.
Ronnie, there's a reason those guys have been voted best butcher shop in the Red River Valley since 2016. Meats by John and Wayne. All your meat needs.
Joining us now, Justin Berg, Technical Product Manager for Westbred. We're talking identifying and treating spring wheat diseases. Justin, how could a grower prepare against yield-robbing diseases?
Growers can prepare for those yield-robbing diseases by first identifying what diseases they will face on their farm, and secondly, making plans to address those diseases, whether that be through a pesticide application or changing their overall management of a field.
Justin, what are some guidelines for fungicide application timing?
Yeah, a couple things to consider when timing those fungicide applications is first being able to properly identify growth stages within that wheat crop. That's very important to the overall success of a fungicide. Secondly, evaluating the disease risk or potential within their area or region based on weather patterns or field history will give them the confidence knowing those fungicide applications are worthwhile.
For more information, visit westbred.com. Again, that's westbred.com.
Paid for by government.com. Can you believe it? A huge hoard of 2018 American Eagle silver dollar coins were confiscated when the FBI busted an international fraud ring that stretched from South Dakota to Norway. It sounds like a Hollywood movie, but it's not. These 99.9% pure silver 2018 Silver Eagles, recovered from U.S. mint-sealed boxes concealed in a garage in Norway, are now available and can be yours. Your guaranteed mint condition American Eagle silver dollars seized from the Norway hoard. Quantities are extremely limited. To learn more, call 1-800-859-1518. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus package, a $25 value, free with every order. Don't let this incredible opportunity slip away. Call 1-800-859-1518 now to secure your American Silver Eagles from the seized Norway hoard before they're gone. That's 1-800-859-1518.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:25 this afternoon. Kind of a cloudy day out there, hazy. Not too bad, though. Nice and pleasantly warm with temperatures reaching into the 80s.
We'll take it. And with this cool front coming in, like we touched on earlier, chance for storms. But, we kind of touched on that earlier. This is kind of going to be the pattern throughout much of the summer where, we'll continue to see these cool fronts dive in from Canada and kind of clip us with some cooler air. So I guess that's good news.
I got to go back to the last subject. We're not going to talk about this a long time, but if you do have something interesting worth taking a look at, I wouldn't mind hearing it from someone. But Bridgette, you had made a couple of faces when I had brought up Skinwalker Ranch. What have you heard about that, and what do you think?
Because the History Channel plays at my house 24/7, what I have absorbed is mostly through osmosis. And I would say that I don't have any facts or figures on Skinwalker Ranch. But every time you guys want to start it on conspiracy theories, I'm like, no, not today. So but that's probably going to be my answer every time.
Okay.
It's Tuesday. You have to, it's just get used to this every Tuesday.
I don't know. I just think it's some of the things that happen.
I just ignore it.
Kind of interesting. They had documents that went all the way back to 1918. Even into the 1800s, they have documents of just unexplained stuff happening there. And not like necessarily ghosts or UFOs, just weird stuff. I'm more interested in like why it's a giant electromagnet at this ranch. That's the part that kind of piques my interest. But back on topic.
Overall, electricity for livestock is bad. If you've ever heard of stray voltage, like in dairies, you can have voltage that somehow has kind of mist found its way through some of the structure, and cattle won't eat because they get zapped when they touch metal feeders or fence posts or something like that due to stray voltage. And then that lowers their milk production, which is a bit detrimental if you're a dairy farm trying to survive on milk production. So there's something to think about too. Stray voltage, bad thing.
That is could be a bad thing. And have there been any recent you want to call
There
them
was a story
situations,
just
I guess?
There was a story just last fall of that, where it was a dairy farm somewhere on the east half of the U.S. And I have to look back and find that story. But essentially, it took them a couple of years to find out the cause of their stray voltage. In the meantime, they literally had to get rid of most of their herd. I mean, they had animals that wouldn't come in the barn because they would get a shock and they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So that is detrimental to a livestock operation if you have that happening.
Do you know if that happens in other operations too, or is it mainly just kind of dairy since they come into the facility to get milked and all that?
I think it could happen in a variety of facilities, but the one I've most commonly heard of has been within dairy.
Okay. Well, I got a question on topic this time that I actually am curious about. There's some project going on west of I-29, just north of Harwood. And I was on my way down this morning, and they got a bunch of generator lamps out in this field. There's a bunch of equipment, and it looks like it's a road that goes back almost as far back as the horizon, but it's in the middle of a field, and they have all these generator lights out there and big equipment, and they're operating out there, and they got stuff flagged off. They have posts that are in the ground. So I'm just wondering if anybody knows what they're doing up there. Or if you've heard.
Isn't that the Red River diversion?
You know, it
the
could be.
diversion
I have
project
no
for the
idea.
river?
Well, you didn't watch the news.
No.
So you didn't hear.
I don't have the news.
You didn't hear about the UFO crash out there.
Oh.
And so they're trying to spot any.
Did any of you children see the alien spaceship last night?
That's what it is. All right.
Yeah.
But is it the diversion? Is that what that is?
If you're looking, especially to the east where you're seeing a lot of earth moving equipment, they're probably looking at the work that's being done for the diversion. Even the field that we're farming, remember when we were out there last week and you saw a lot of heavy equipment to the west of our field, Justin? That's also part of the diversion project. That's why they're over there.
Oh, all right.
Well,
that must be that. Well, thank you for clearing that up because I was interested. I'm like, why do they have all this stuff posted and flagged and generator? They had like street lights out there.
Usually the tractor lights are certainly bright enough. You wouldn't need to have generator lights as well. If you've watched any of our local farmers who've been posting on TikTok or Twitter, et cetera, and they're showing in the field work that they're doing, especially at night, they are lit up like an airport runway. You know, as loud as Dean's shirt right now.
They had like 12 of those like trailer street lights with generators on them. They were all on, and I don't know, it just looked goofy.
And Bridgette, I got a question for you. Have you heard from any of our farmers that have not gotten in the field yet? That are they getting to the worried point? Yeah, I mean, are they? we've got a couple weeks, but are they to the point where
corn's coming up here soon?
Yeah,
right?
We'll have a corn insurance deadline coming up here this week, so I think the push is on to get as much corn planted as we can before that insurance deadline should happen for prevent plant.
Okay.
And so you're seeing folks that are certainly making that happen as quick as they can. Overall, everyone's been in the field somewhere. They're definitely making progress. So it's happening.
Okay.
And here we are at 1:30 in the afternoon. It is the bottom of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. This crazy conversation will continue after this. We'll be right back.
They'll have you laughing right along with them. They're Bonnie and Friends.
You're pretty athletic.
Yeah, I
You
used to
pick
play
it up
tennis
easy.
too back in the day. So
Used to.
What are you saying? I'm pretty athletic
Are you still in shape? Are you still
Okay, now I'm going to
Here on
clobber
this
him
show.
when we turn off the microphones,
You
and we'll
two
be back.
are like an old married couple.
We're gonna rename the show.
The Odd Couple.
I'm not the odd couple. He's odd, but
That's
I'm,
what
I guess am I the couple part of the odd? Because he's definitely the odd.
Bonnie and Friends. Catch them weekday mornings beginning at 5.
In need of a reliable, durable building for your farm, business, man, or she shed? Look no further than Thor Buildings. At Thor Buildings, they specialize in post-frame construction. They use the highest quality materials to ensure that your building can withstand the toughest conditions. Buildings that are designed with your specific needs in mind and built to last. With their experienced team of designers, engineers, and construction experts, you can trust that your building will be built with the utmost precision and attention to detail. So when it's time to put the hammer down, build with Thor.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade your kitchen with new appliances from Regal's. Get up to $2,000 back on select GE Profile appliances now through June 1st, featuring the latest smart home technology, providing a simpler and smarter cooking and cleaning experience. Smart technology meets unbeatable prices, plus free delivery and free recycling of your old appliances. Find out why for over 75 years Regal's has delivered value. Regal's, 609 Main Avenue, Moorhead.
What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
Do you have an unsightly or hazardous tree on your property that needs to be removed? Look no further than Tyler's Tree Service. Their team of expert tree removal professionals has the experience and equipment needed to safely remove any tree from your property, big or small, offering competitive pricing and exceptional customer service. You can trust us to get the job done right the first time. Don't let a dangerous or unsightly tree ruin your property. Go to tylerscut.com. Tyler's Tree Service. No stick left behind.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on essential accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
Welcome to WDAY, Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette, Readel Ag Director, along with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Meteorologist Extraordinaire Justin Storm. And a great big thank you to one of our Here We Grow project sponsors. Here We Grow is our custom farming of 20 acres of soybeans. And after we are all done, our profits are going to the Great Plains Food Bank. Titan Machinery, our local Case IH equipment dealer, is dedicated to best-in-class solutions for their customers and also to helping us in this project. And we give them a huge thank you for being a part of what we do on this project. So, dare I ask, gentlemen, what ag headlines do you want to talk about, or should I bring them up?
I actually had a couple of emails came in. Nick Hansen was saying, yeah, that is correct. That's the diversion channel that you're looking at. And then
okay,
I'll keep them off air because we probably burnt enough time on them, but I appreciate the emails and some good conspiracy videos to take a look at.
I like that they're filling up your inbox so you'll have more things to do later on in your day.
At this rate, I mean, I'm like 14 episodes in, and I've only got like a season and a quarter left, so I'll be probably done with that by tomorrow.
Sweet. Okay. Put the recap on our Facebook page, Weather and Ag in Focus, where you can follow along with what Justin thinks is conspiracy theories.
I don't even know if I'd say conspiracy, just more unexplained phenomena.
I like the word phenomena better.
So
Let's
do
go with
I.
that.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that.
Good.
All right, well, let's see. Let's stay on par here. And I want to go back to yesterday because this was something that we started to have a conversation about. And we just ran out of time and we couldn't really get really further into it. And this was on that company in South Dakota that's making bird flu vaccines. Would you mind giving us just a quick little recap on that topic that we discussed on yesterday for those that didn't catch it?
Medgene is a company in Brookings, South Dakota. They have been actively working on livestock vaccines since 2011. And in their first 7 years, they laid the groundwork for a real ramp up of activity. And they are now in the process of being able to build a vaccine platform. And that's a technology for producing vaccines that can be used very swiftly to update to new strains. And they are looking to be able to use this vaccine platform in order to build a vaccine for bird flu, specifically H5N1. USDA is currently testing 2 vaccines for bird flu. What Medgene is suggesting is that we begin the use in turkey production. The reason being, we would have to renegotiate a lot of our export market agreements if we were to use this in poultry of chicken, because right now that wouldn't be a part of our agreements, whereas turkey is mostly consumed domestically in the United States. Therefore, we would have a better chance of being able to have that done right here in our own country. Also, the size and the growth cycles of the larger birds make it a lot easier for the vaccine to be economically viable than it might be for millions of chickens. So that's a little bit of a recap of what's going on with Medgene in Brookings, South Dakota.
So I'm wondering if this vaccine they'd be giving to turkeys, you think this would be like a one and done kind of thing, or is this going to be like a COVID thing where you got to get one every year?
You know, consider the life cycle of the turkey, right? They don't live to be 20.
Well, I guess, yeah, they are only making it probably 1 year.
Yeah, so it would be a one and done most likely. Yeah, from the time that you're using them as chicks.
I'm trying to scope out the scale of this. How many turkeys would you say we're growing? We're growing turkeys. How many raised turkeys are we doing? Raising turkeys. Is that that's a couple $100 million, right?
There's a lot of turkeys. We're certainly outpopulated by the chickens that are produced commercially, but yeah, I can try to find a number for us as to how many turkeys we're raising domestically, but it's quite a few. I mean, let's face it, we all get one for Thanksgiving.
And is that the reason why they haven't really maybe done or pushed this matter in the past? Is cost effectiveness on that? Is it just cheaper to euthanize all these birds versus every single year giving them a shot and producing that vaccine? Is that the reason?
It would be. It's actually cheaper at this point to euthanize the flocks, and part of that cost is subsidized by USDA at this point. Also, when it comes to where we are, we have surpassed the amount of birds euthanized. We're over 58 million, which was the high mark for us in 2015 in our last major outbreak of bird flu. So we are climbing the charts, I'm afraid.
Sure are. And then that led into the question that I had yesterday when we ran out of time. And that was, with this bird flu, is it kind of coming and going? Is it around every single year, and some years you just have a bad strain that really affects things really hard that we were kind of dealing with last year, and now rolling into this year with all the birds migrating back through, there's obviously concern that that's still around. Is that the case?
You know, you made a good point yesterday. Is this going to be something similar to what we see in a situation with, say, sometimes we have more flu outbreak than other years, right? We've had that happen in the past where the flu is a greater concern for humans. And I think that's certainly going to be the case for us. All of those diseases as viruses, things are cyclical. And so we will probably see an up and down pattern cycle. I don't know how tight the cycle will be that we will see it happening, but I wouldn't really be surprised that we'll have some years with more bird flu than others. It's a virus, right? And I think about the West Nile virus too. That can also be influenced by our weather patterns. We have more incidents of West Nile in years that we are drier than we are wetter because of the particular mosquito strain that carries the West Nile virus. So there is a difference, and I think that can happen in other species of animals as well.
You know, that's interesting, because I would have imagined that it would be the other way around. If it's more wet, you have a higher population of bloodsuckers out there than if it was
It just
dry.
so happens, you guys are going to laugh, but it just so happens, yesterday I was working on my slides to present to North Dakota State University. They do, on Thursday, they do a vector control meeting, and where they teach all of the applicators who are going to be applying across the state of North Dakota in municipalities their skills in vector control for the summer, doing mosquito trap counts, etc. And so I updated my slides to talk about the West Nile virus. And if you look back in the years where we had extremely high cases of West Nile, 2003, 2007, 2012, and 13, also 2018, those were years that were considered drier than normal. And we did have much higher incidence rates of West Nile in those timeframes.
It's really interesting.
And Bridgette, with severe weather season coming up here, let's touch on this a little bit about
sure.
Are the farmer, how do you prepare your farm when you're expecting bad weather?
My first question for you guys is based on the LRC. We know the weeks that it might happen, but can you tell me the severity? Do we know that?
Yeah.
Excuse me, that we're going to have tornadoes or anything like that? Are you able to give me that information too?
Usually, well, within a day or so ahead of time, we're able to tell if the parameters are there. So if the parameters are there and it's ripe for it to happen, usually we can give you a couple days heads up on that. And then then it's up to be able to do the necessary preparedness.
Much like our friend Bethany at Irie Insurance mentioned when she was on air with us just a couple weeks ago, she talked about, making sure that you kind of have an inventory of what you might want to have insured, and talk to your agents about that type of thing in advance. What do you have for not just head of livestock and equipment, but what about your feed that you might be storing on farm? That's got a value to it too. What about your Check if your generator is running. This is probably a good time to do that, because just as much in the winter months as in the summer, sometimes you may need generator power to keep things going if we have a lot of power lines that get broken down. So what are you covered for? What aren't you covered for? And this new term I've learned in the last couple of years, derecho, that's just as devastating as tornadoes, as we watched those roll across South Dakota and Minnesota last year. So there's a lot to consider.
Now, you were talking about earlier about turtles and snakes going to higher ground if there's heavy rain expected, which makes sense. Did livestock that you know of, I mean, do they have any inert sense where if they can sense severe weather coming, do they tend to herd? Do they tend to seek shelter ahead of time?
My grandpa always used to tell us that if he thought severe weather was coming, it was because the cattle would bunch up in a specific corner of the pasture as though they were looking for shelter. I don't know how much truth is in that. I also see them bunch up for fly control, to use their tails to try to keep flies off of each other. But I can't discount that, right? It's kind of like Justin's Skinwalker Ranch theory. There's some odd things that aren't necessarily completely explained. How's that sound?
I like that answer a lot. That'd be interesting for listeners. You got cattle. Do you see any of this actions that these cattle do before, say, a major storm system comes through, or maybe some worsening event? Do these cattle or animals, do they do anything that's kind of, hey, this is weird, why are you doing this? And then you end up learning later something bad ends up happening, or a big storm comes through. So 701-293-9000, Red Wing Shoes phone line. If you want to chime in on that, we can get you all lined up in queue and bring you back. Right when we come back from the show, we're going to take a look at the American Ag Network, and then we'll get back to your answers and your questions for the callers or emails, which is weatherorag@flagfamily.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Steve and Craig at Steve's Heating and AC in Castleton would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the 2023 graduation class. You are moving on to a new and exciting chapter in your life. They wish you all the best for the future that lies ahead. One journey has ended and a much better adventure is just beginning. Steve's Heating and AC in Castleton is proud of you and looks forward to seeing you succeed in your future. Congratulations again to all grads. Hunter Insurance Agency salutes the incredible spirit and determination of the class of 2023 and hopes you'll always find yourself as happy and full of big and crazy dreams as you are today. Graduation isn't the end of a tough journey, it's the beginning of a beautiful one. Enjoy and congratulations from Hunter Insurance Agency in Hunter, North Dakota. Agent Johnny Jorgensen is here to help you and provide insurance you can trust and count on. Online at hunterinsuranceagency.com.
Rev up your engines for Track Talk with Jason Berg, the ultimate racing radio show every Monday night at 6:30 on WDAY Radio. From the hottest drivers, latest racing news and analysis, to recaps of the best dirt track races in the region. All live from O'Kelly's Bar and Grill. If the dirt's flying, you can bet Jason Berg is covering it. Track Talk is brought to you in part by Brenco, Johnson's Auto Repair, North Dakota Retriever Club, Welton's Tire Service, and WDAY Radio.
Hey, Ronnie, grilling season finally here this weekend. I'm going to sit on my deck with a cold beer and watch Alex grill some meat.
Speaking of meat, Jay, our great friends from Meats by John and Wayne will be giving away a meat bundle this Thursday on your show. All you have to do is listen for the call-in song. Cheeseburger in paradise. And be the 9th caller.
Ronnie, there's a reason those guys have been voted best butcher shop in the Red River Valley since 2016. Meats by John and Wayne. All your meat needs.
Rich Rispo with American Ag Network here for this market update. We're chatting with Arlen Suderman, Chief Economist at StoneX. Arlen, as I look at the numbers here, soybeans are down hard. Wheat is having a nice little rally. Corn is kind of hovering around that unchanged. What are you making of the markets today?
Well, first of all, we started the soybean market. It rally that we saw earlier this week didn't last long. We're still trading primarily inside of Friday's trading range, which was a very bearish day. This is a market that can't seem to sustain anything. In fact, the corn, soybeans, and wheat all struggling. We are seeing a bounce in corn and wheat today. Corn and wheat tending to move together. Corn getting some strength from wheat. Wheat has come down a long ways. And so when you come down that far, there's a saying in the markets that even a dead cat bounces. We're seeing that kind of a bounce this morning. Some chatter on the internet about the increased risks in the Black Sea. Certainly, we're seeing Russia restrict the number of ships that are being allowed to move to Ukraine and only to 2 of the 3 approved ports for loading up. So that is causing traders to wonder, okay, have we gone down too far, too little? And so we're seeing a little bit of a bounce and some profit taking on those short covering positions. But overall, this is a market that still is weighed down by expectations that we're going to see bigger supplies of corn and soybeans in the months ahead.
Well, and you mentioned the bigger supplies, too. We got the crop progress report that came out yesterday. What could you give us kind of a rundown of what was shaking in there?
Well, basically what it shows is that the crops are going in the ground in good order, that we'll get the first condition ratings for the corn crop probably next week, and we anticipate that it's good overall. There are pockets of dry areas. Most notably is probably southeast Nebraska, where they've missed out on rains, and there's pockets here and there that are dry, but overall the Midwest is doing well.
Those have been comments by Arlen Suderman of StoneX. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Ristvet.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. We got the cows coming out of the barn doors because we got some weather heading in our area. It was a question before we came back from our break. If you've noticed anything your cattle or your animals on your ranch do before, say, like a big storm comes through or a big pressure system, just something goofy that's kind of like a sign like, oh, hey, the cows are tucked up in the northwest corner again. There must be a storm coming through or something like that. You give us a call and let us know what it is that they that they're doing. 701-293-9000.
This kind of goes back to Bridgette's story with the turtles. Is I don't know if you remember, Bridgette, was it Indonesia where they had the big typhoon that like literally like just flooded them out? Was it a typhoon? No, it was tidal wave.
Yeah,
it was a tidal wave.
The tidal wave.
Yeah, and all the animals, like, they could sense that it was coming, and they all headed to higher ground. So I think there's got to be something to that.
There has to be.
I do think so. Yeah. Yep. And it may just vary on what they know to do, right? They where do I go? They're much smarter at that than we are. And maybe when Grandpa said they always went to that corner of the pasture, I should look at a map because it was probably the higher corner of the pasture.
Could have been. Well, a lot of people say that animals have got some sixth sense for things like that. Like fish can pick up on pressure changes with the lateral line. They think that a lot of other animals have some ability to kind of observe what's going on around them that we either lost or we just don't have.
Well, you would think then as humans with opposable thumbs, we'd be a whole lot smarter than we are. But no, I don't see that on a daily basis now, do I?
No.
And we just had an emailer chime in. He said he grew up in a house with a cat who knew when the storms were coming, they would go and hide ahead of time. So that just they do. I think you're absolutely right. They've definitely got some kind of.
We had a dog
sense.
that would like the whole day, the whole mood would change, and then there would be thunderstorms that night. Like the dog just knew that there were storms coming, and the dog would get all goofy about it.
Well, one thing you shouldn't be goofy about, and that is coming from one of our sponsors for Here We Grow. AB Seeds would like to remind us that if you want to make sure to weatherproof your nitrogen, be sure to use Invita. They have that available not only for corn, soybeans, wheat, alfalfa, and other crops. And it's a key benefit of nitrogen-fixing bacteria that works within the plant all season long. So keep that in mind for Invita. And if you're interested, you can talk with AB Seeds.
Perfect. We got a phone caller, and they're number one fan of Weather and Ag in Focus. We got John on line one. Hang on, John. I'll come to you here in just a second.
Oh, no, this isn't.
This is going to be good.
Is this Taxman John?
This is Tax John.
Snowblower guy John?
I can't wait to hear what John has to tell me. 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. If you got something weird that you've noticed animals doing before storms or something goofy happens or maybe like an earthquake.
Are you sure you want to take this?
I'm betting on John today. John, welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. What's going on, buddy?
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
How's your day going?
First, let me point out that after all the debate about contrails and chemtrails, I have not seen any chemtrails since, despite Wysocki saying that Tuesdays are spray days.
Well, that's because they sprayed
cloudy. How are you
so
gonna see
much
it?
that it's so cloudy out now. You can't see them, John.
Sure, that's your story. You stick with it.
You got a weird behavior you've noticed in animals?
Oh, yeah. I have a couple of cats at home, and over the years, I've had both of them since they were kittens. And during times when, like, the tornado sirens would go off, they were already heading to the basement by, about the third or fourth weather episode like that. And it's like Lily, the cat this morning. She was the Klingon kitty because she heard the thunder long before it woke us up, and she was the Klingon kitty instantaneously. And it's like in the winter, I observe the squirrels because I have gray squirrels I feed. And when there's some fairly hefty weather coming on or a real extreme cold snap, oh, yeah, they're out a day or two before that looking for everything I put out and then some. And then they just flat out will disappear just before it hits.
I've actually noticed that as well because we used to feed the squirrels at our old residence, and they would disappear. They would be there multiple times every day, and they'd completely disappear. And like a day later, a big storm would come through.
Yep. They get their nuts and go hunker down. I mean, they're not animals are not stupid. I think they're actually probably more in tune to the weather than we are as humans, even with the help of the LRC. Note how I threw that in.
Very good, John.
All right, I got to get back to driving and watching for chemtrails. So,
you call in and when you see one, all right?
Let us know if you see any today, John.
Yeah, thanks for calling, John.
I will use the Wysocki alert system. Trust me.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Oh, that is funny.
He's a character.
He's got some good stuff to add.
He does.
Hey, how's that lawnmower that's going that he sold?
I bought a lawnmower and a snowblower from him.
Still run?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Still run.
Absolutely.
I mean, you beat on your equipment, too. Shame on you. You really beat it up.
I take care of it. Most of it.
You run rocks over.
That's not true. Unless there's rocks in the yard I don't see.
I hear them.
Yeah. Well, speaking of weather, let's recap the forecast because we've got a big weekend coming up. It's a holiday weekend, first kick off the summer. Also, let's not forget what this Memorial Day weekend is really, what it's really all about. So, we want to give a lot of thanks to troops that sacrifice their life for what we have today. So while you're grilling and, it's not all about grilling and getting together and on the lake, that's a big part of it. But, remember what the holiday is really for. And we all really do want some nice weather. And you know what? I think we're going to squeak in a pretty decent upcoming weekend. We've got a cool front coming through tonight. That's going to trigger off some showers and storms anytime after 5 o'clock this evening. You could, I know there's a big concert, Willie Nelson. He's out of Blue Stem tonight. Maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm during the concert there. And then we'll cool off tomorrow to temperatures right around 70 tomorrow with breezy conditions. And then we'll dry things out as we head into Thursday, Friday, Saturday with temperatures in the low 80s, which isn't bad. And then there's a few question marks on the latter half of the weekend, Sunday, Monday. Isolated storm or two are possible. I took it out of the forecast this morning as it really looked dry. Now, the further west you go, so if you have any travel plans going to central or western parts of the Dakotas, down into Nebraska, they have a better chance of seeing storms for the entire upcoming holiday weekend if you're going west. If you're going east towards Lakes Country and into the Great Lakes, a better chance of it being dry as high pressure is going to build into those areas. We're kind of sandwiched right in the middle there, but I think we'll at least squeeze half of the weekend dry. We'll watch the tail end. I would like to get some stats on, and we'll dig this up for maybe tomorrow's show.
Oh,
you're off tomorrow. I will dig this up. How many Memorial Days, not the weekend, but how many Memorial Days have been actually dry? Because it seems like it rains every Monday Memorial Day.
I'm going 85%.
Are dry?
Are wet.
85%
are wet.
That's Bridgette, what are you thinking?
It's a high number too. It's just crazy. Everybody is like, oh, I can't wait to get to the lake for Memorial Day. It is cold. It is wet. If this is one of the few that is nice, it will be a shock.
I'll do some digging. I'm going to guess. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go 60%. 60% are wet. That means any rain at all on Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
See this guy? Right. See this guy right here?
Pointing at Dean?
I'm pointing at Dean. I don't know how many years he's lived up here.
I'm still going 60%. 80%'s awful high.
I would almost go 90.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see.
For sure, more are wet than are not.
Agreed.
100%.
I said 60.
Yeah. I really think it's probably
higher.
It's got to be somewhere around 80-90% of them have been wet.
Okay.
So we'll find out, and we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Well, Dean will, if he gets all the digging done.
We might have to do a lot of digging. But we need the drier weather for our ag community. So that's good. We'll dry it out for a few days and it's going to be pretty breezy when these dry days hit. So that'll help out dry the fields out.
It will.
As well.
Good drying weather right there.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do it for us today. We've got to wake Ronnie up. He's with the Jay Thomas Show. Wake up, Ronnie.
Wake up on all
Jay Thomas Show is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.